Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today I've got another exciting episode in my very popular video series, Top Upcoming Movies on 4K Ultra HD Blu Ray. Big movie announcements, huge reveals, and collector's film chat number 17. As most of you know, with this video series, I get a ton of requests asking me to continue making more and more of these. And to be honest with you, this time of the year, there is so many exciting titles that have been announced and shared with me by studios that I share all that studio insider information, reveals, and announcements in this video series. And I know this is always a fun video series I personally enjoy making as well. As most of you know, I'm a huge collector, as you see behind me, and I've talked about for years on this channel. And this is one of those years that I've been amazed at the amount of announcements and the releases we've been getting on 4K Ultra HD. This is the biggest year ever for 4K Ultra HD releases yet. And I don't see it stopping. I actually see more and more boutique labels and studios, even big studios like Paramount Studios, releasing more and more releases each and every year. So this is a great time to be a movie fan, a film collector. Now, if you haven't checked out any of my previous videos in this series, as I said, this is number 17 in this video series. And the last video in this video series actually ended on October 24th. So you'll want to go check out that video if you have not checked out that one yet. But the announcements and reveals I shared in that video and all of those top announcements were actually through October 24th. This one is picking up right after that, continuing on with more announcements over the months and the days coming after that. So as always with this video series, I continue with the date that I ended in the previous video series. So if you want to know about all the previous reveals and big announcements, make sure to go check out the previous videos in this video series for all of those announcements. There's tons of exciting things in those as well. Now, if any of these releases that I share in this video series you decide you want to buy or pre-order, as always, I've done all of the work for all of you and included the direct sale links from Amazon in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section right below each and every one of these videos. So any of these you're wanting to buy or pre-order, make sure to use those sale links I've posted right down there below. They never cost you, the viewer, a penny extra. And they're on sale for the same prices everywhere through those links, but those links do matter to the creation of these videos and do help to support the creation of these videos just a tiny bit. So it's very, very important. Any of these you want to buy or add to your collection, as always, use the links I post down in the description section below. Click on those to buy or pre-order any of these 4Ks you're excited about so that I can always continue to create these videos for many years to come that all of you enjoy watching. Now, starting off on October 31st, we've got one of the biggest exciting announcements that I was thrilled for, and it's actually Witness with Harrison Ford from 1985. This is one of those Harrison Ford films that is extremely underrated. A lot of people have not watched it. I did originally, and I've enjoyed it for many years on Blu Ray and then DVD before that. This is one of those that kind of came out of the blue and really surprised me that Paramount didn't release on their own. This is coming out by Arrow Video in a limited edition box set. This will have the poster and the postcards, as you can see above. It'll come in one of those hard slip cases, and it is getting a new native 4K 2160p transfer with a brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 master. So hopefully that turns out pretty good looking, but this is one of those box sets I'm extremely excited for and thrilled is coming out. Now, if you haven't checked out my most wanted and upcoming 80s movies on 4K Ultra HD video series, that's another popular video series here on my channel, and that's actually part 2 of the 80s series, talking about actually The Witness and how excited I was for that film, and one of those that I was hoping was coming out on 4K. There is some secret announcements in that video series that I do, that I share some other studio insider information about things that don't have actual dates but are being worked on by studios, and I share all that kind of information in that video series. So you'll want to check out that video series if you want some other studio insider information about some exciting titles that are being worked on for restorations as well. Continuing the same day and date, we're getting Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, we're going to be getting this in both a limited edition SteelBook, which is the one I ordered that I'm excited for. It's obviously a red SteelBook with the train coming out. And then we're also getting it in a standard 4K case. Now, I was a little disappointed this film didn't do as well at the box office as I'd hoped for, but I love the film series. Tom Cruise is amazing in it. I've loved every single one of the Mission Impossible films and love how they build upon each other. So this is one of those I'm really excited for, and I am excited for part 2 of Dead Reckoning, but this is one that's an exciting 4K release. Continuing October 31st, we're getting the Alfred Hitchcock Collection, Volume 3. Now, if you haven't checked out previously, I did the Alfred Hitchcock Collection Volume 2 4K versus Blu-ray image comparison review exclusively here on my channel. I compared all of those previous releases in that box set. If you haven't checked out that video, you'll want to check that one out. But in this box set, this is the third one in the series. They will be selling each and every one of these in individual releases and individual cases as well. I'll include both the individual releases and the big box set right down below as a pinned comment. So depending on which one you want to buy or pre-order, I'll link all of the direct sale links right down below for you. Now in this box set, we're getting Rope, The Man Who Knew Too Much, Torn Curtain, Topaz, and Frenzy. And these films ran from 1948 to 1972 and are all amazing Alfred Hitchcock classic mystery thriller films. I've really enjoyed Volume 1 and Volume 2 that I talked about in that previous review video. So I was excited when this one got announced. I have been buying them in the box sets simply to save money. Though I would prefer the individual cases, it's just because I'm limited funds-wise on what things to get in for review that aren't sent for review, I have to be picky on what I can get, and in this case I have to buy the box set just because it's cheaper. But as I said, I'll put those direct links down there below, but let me know in the comment section, what of these are you going to buy? What of these are you going to pre-order? Make sure to use those links I post down there below if any of these you are going to buy or pre-order. But start that conversation in the comment section below and let me know what you're excited about. I really like to hear from all of you about what ones you're excited for, what of these announcements really made your day. I'll tell you when studios send me these announcements, some of these I get super excited for and I'm like, wow, that just really was an exciting announcement. And that's what I want to hear from all of you. I love to share that excitement with all of you. We're all collectors. And I like to share that experience. So share your experience below. What of these really made your day? And what of these really got you excited that you're excited to pre-order and buy now? Continuing October 31st, we're getting Blue Beetle. Now this is the DC Comics superhero film that came out here in 2023. I have not gotten to see it yet. I've heard some good things about it. I am excited to experience it because I am a DC Comics fan. I really like a lot of the films they've had. I really did like when Zack Snyder was in charge of basically the DC universe at the time, and now we're going in a different direction with James Gunn. I'm curious to see how it turns out. I'm very curious to see how the new Superman film turns out. This is one of those films though that is coming out with Dolby Vision, HDR10, and a Dolby Atmos mix. So I'll be curious to check this out, see how the quality of it is, but this is one I'm excited to watch because I did think the trailer looked pretty darn cool. Rounding out October 23rd, we're getting Limbo. And this is the Hong Kong mystery thriller. It's coming out in a limited edition MediaBook. And it's actually being released by the same studio that did All Quiet on the Western Front, the 4K Ultra HD MediaBook that I exclusively reviewed here on this YouTube channel way back before the release date. If you have not checked out that 4K release, you'll want to check out my review video, but that was an absolutely amazing reference quality 4K release that really everybody needs to have in their collection. Well, this is one of those kind of Hong Kong films that I haven't checked out. I do like a lot of them, and it's got a unique mystery spin to it with also a unique style of filmmaking. You'll want to check out the trailer if you haven't yet. But on this 4K release, it's going to have HDR10 Plus, which is not used very often, but I do enjoy that. And as far as HDR10 Plus goes, a lot of the times I do think it's basically better looking than HDR10 is on its own. I'll be curious to see how they implement it into that film. Now this one is coming with English audio and English subtitles, which is nice because this has been released in other countries around the world without any English subtitles and without any English audio options. And this is actually the one release of this film that's going to have it on there. So this is one I'll be interested to check out and see how it turns out. Now, moving ahead to November 7th, another big day here. We're gonna be getting Fargo from 1996. The Coen brothers, basically mystery thriller that really is one of those films that's a stunning classic that I am thrilled is coming out on 4K Ultra HD. Though I am a little cautious simply because of the studio releasing it. They've had a real roller coaster this year, as most of you know that have followed my channel here. I've done dozens of reviews of their releases with exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons. If you haven't checked out the recent Hackers one, you're gonna wanna check out that release, but they've had a rough, rocky history all year. They've had some good and some not so great releases, but hopefully this turns around for the studio. I am excited about this release and I do hope it turns out well. I do know it's getting a brand new 4K restoration of the original camera negative with the brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 master and color grading. So hopefully if this is done right and they leave the natural film grain from the restoration and scan that they did, It should look pretty darn good and should be an exciting 4K release. I know that I'm already excited for it. I did pre-order my copy to get it in here for the channel, and this is one that's a pretty cool release. If you enjoy movies and TV series, this channel is the place for you. Make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you never miss out on any of these exclusive videos that you're only going to find to watch here on my YouTube channel. Continuing November 7th, we're getting American Graffiti. Now this is obviously directed by George Lucas of the Star Wars fame, and it is a great classic film from 1973. And for its 50th anniversary, Universal is doing a brand new 4K restoration of the original camera negative. With a brand new HDR10 color grading and master, I'm really curious how this one's going to turn out. I should have this in early for review. I know it's being sent early for review, and that's one I'm excited to dive into. It's a great classic film. Has such a good feeling to it, and music and acting, and there's so many actors in it. Really love the film, and it's one of those that's dear to my heart. I'm looking forward to checking this one out, and I am hoping they did a good job with this restoration. But as always, make sure to stay tuned to this channel to find out the quality of it when I'm able to dive in and do my review on it. Another massive release that I'm looking forward to for the same day and date is Black Hawk Down from 2001. This is the great Ridley Scott war film. I actually talked about it in my favorite war films on 4K Ultra HD video. If you have not checked that out, if you like war films at all, I talk about some of my favorite 4K Ultra HD releases with the best image and sound quality that are must-own 4Ks on 4K Ultra HD in that video series. Well, Black Hawk Down originally had a 4K release. I actually talked about it in my mini review in that video series. It was a stellar, stunning 4K release. Well, what Sony's doing is, and I've talked about this numerous times before, but Sony is going back to some of their basically bigger catalog releases and doing, with upgraded technology, they're doing a brand new 4K transfer with Dolby Vision in a limited edition SteelBook release. Now, I've bought a lot of these. I've actually bought all of them. Every time they do one of these new 4K transfers, I buy them, I test them out. I've done tons of reviews on this channel of these when they do these new 4K transfers. There is noticeable upgrades, there is noticeable difference in stability in the image quality, film grain, all of it does look better. Colors look drastically better. I will say it surprises me, and I'll say a lot of the times it's an easy 5% image quality upgrade you can see over the previous transfers that were HDR10. So these new 4K transfers they're doing with Dolby Vision, I've really been enjoying, and to be honest with you, every time they announce them, I've been ordering them and getting them in simply because I've noticed enough of a difference, and I love so many of these films that they're worthwhile additions for me. Well, along with this one, we're also getting Guns of Navarone. Now, this is the war film from 1961. I previously reviewed the standard 4K release before they had ever released it with this new 4K Dolby Vision transfer. And so that release was a really good release. I enjoyed it. I'll be curious though, in that I had some slight nitpicks that I did say about the image quality that I'm wondering if they fixed with this new 4K transfer. My guess is yes, because based on the quality, like I said, with like Black Hawk Down, and a lot of those previous Sony ones, Mask of Zorro, you've got Air Force One, Cliffhanger, Starship Troopers, I mean, they've really done a lot of them where they've come back and redone them with these new 4K Dolby Vision transfers. I've gotten all of them in, and I've noticed that the quality of them is about fixing every little thing you possibly could, and I'm wondering if they're gonna fix the little things I had nitpicky with that release will be fixed on this new Dolby Vision 4K transfer. I'm really hoping it is, because Guns of Navarone is a great release. But keep in mind, these Sony SteelBooks are limited edition 4K Ultra HD releases. They do sell out. Sometimes though, Sony will reprint them later on if they were popular enough, but they do always sell out initially, and then sometimes they will reprint them. But I don't like to wait for the chance that they reprint them, so I always order them to make sure that I get a copy, because I love what Sony is doing with their limited edition SteelBook line. They are some awesome collectibles that I've really been enjoying collecting. Let me know if you've been collecting these basically newer transfers of Sony's in their limited edition collectible SteelBook line. Start that conversation down there and let me know if you've been buying those and if you've been enjoying them. Continuing with the same day and date, we're getting Violent Night. Now this is one of those films I had a hard time not buying on Blu Ray when it was originally announced and released by Universal almost a year ago. Well, Universal, as I've talked about previously, is known for, if they announce a Blu Ray, it sells well enough, they'll release the 4K about a year later. And it's been a pattern they've been doing now for several years. Well, I knew this one was coming out after they announced it originally, so I made myself wait. I'm very happy I waited because for this Christmas action film, it's getting a new native 4K transfer with HDR10 and Dolby Atmos. This is one of those films I'm thrilled to add to my holiday Christmas film collection. It's one of those films I was excited for originally, and even though it didn't do as amazingly well as they anticipated at the box office, it was still a fun time, and it is one of those that was a cool thing to kind of add to kind of my diehard Christmas collection. If you want to know about some great Christmas films, there is a Christmas series that I did here on this channel talking about some kind of hidden and unknown 4Ks and some Blu-rays of some fun Christmas films that I watch every single year. If you want to check out that, it's available right now on this channel. Now, one I'm really excited for is Tales from the Darkside, the movie from 1990. Now, this is getting a brand new 4K scan of the original camera negative with a brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 master. Again, it's from that studio, Shout and Scream Factory, that has had a rocky history. I hope this one is not one of those that is really poor. I'm hoping it's one of those that is amazing. Now, I did just recently review Night of the Comet. If you have not checked out that release, that is one of their releases that is absolutely stellar, stunning, must own. I couldn't believe how gorgeous of a transfer they did on that 4K release compared to the previous Blu-ray. So you'll definitely want to check out my review video on that release from Scream and Shout Factory because that was one of theirs. Just came out within the last week or so. That is a stunning, stellar 4K release. Continuing the holiday movies, we're getting Scrooged from 1988. Now this is getting a brand new 4K restoration of the original camera negatives by Paramount. This is one that's an exciting one again to add to the holiday Christmas movie collection. Continuing November 7th, we're getting Trading Places from 1983. Another great 80s film that I really enjoyed. This one is also getting a new 4K restoration by Paramount that's actually being supervised by the original director, John Landis. So this is one of those that'll be really cool to see the quality of it, and it is being released for its 40th anniversary. Crazy to think it's its 40th anniversary of that film, but that's another big release. Rounding out November 7th, we're getting Gran Turismo. This is the modern 2023 racing video game film produced by PlayStation and Sony. And it is one of those that's based on a true story actually, which has a really unique true story element based on a guy that played the video game and then got to actually race in real life. And it's a pretty darn cool story that I wanted to check out. I didn't get to see it in cinemas, so I'll be excited to check it out here on 4K. Now I can tell you it has Dolby Vision and HDR10 and Dolby Atmos on it. Now for a racing film, if they implement that Dolby Atmos correctly, man, Sony could have one of those reference quality Dolby Atmos experiences on this disc that I'm excited to listen to and see if it sucks me into the film, literally sucks me in, and then the cars are flying by and overhead. That'll be really cool if it's done correctly. So I'm excited to see how that one turns out. If you watch and enjoy these videos I create here on my YouTube channel, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. That costs you less than a couple of bucks every month, but it goes into the creation of these videos. After what YouTube takes, it's 35%. That $1 or $2 I get drastically makes a difference for me to be able to spend all this time for the software and the creation of every single one of these exclusive videos. If you enjoy this content as well, make sure to use those links I posted for every single one of these releases from Amazon directly down in the description section below. Those all do help to support the creation of these videos just a tiny bit. Now, moving ahead to November 14th, we're getting Duel. This is the 1971 Steven Spielberg film. Now, this is the first theatrically released Steven Spielberg film of all time. He did not release anything theatrically before this. He did have TV movies and TV episodes that he did direct and things like that. But this was the first one that was actually released theatrically as a theatrical premiere, not something that was on TV that then they released later on theatrically. So this is one of those I'm excited to see though, because Universal is doing a brand new 4K restoration of the original camera negative with a brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 master, along with a brand new Dolby Atmos audio mix. I'm excited to see what they do with this. This is one of those films, I love all of Steven Spielberg's films. This is one that I do like, and I was excited that they actually announced and is coming out. Now, another one coming out on November 14th is a personal favorite of mine called Rudy. It's one of those Notre Dame true story about an underdog coming up and getting to actually perform on the field. never really ever thinking he would get to perform. Sean Astin's performance in it is amazing. I love it. There's so many secondary characters that are great throughout it, and the story is wonderful. Now, a little history on this film. I went to see this originally at Notre Dame with my dad for the premiere. We actually lived in Indiana back then, and we actually went, the premiere was there, and they had a bunch of the stars there, and we actually went to see the film on campus at Notre Dame. It was a great time. I still remember it to this day. So this film does hold a special place in my heart, and I can tell you this release has some pretty darn cool stuff on it. You're getting 2 cuts of the film that have never been released before. So we are getting a brand new 127-minute director's cut, which is getting a brand new 4K restoration, along with the theatrical cut that's getting a brand new 4K restoration with both Dolby Vision and HDR10 masters with Dolby Atmos audio mixes. Now, this is being released only in a limited edition SteelBook release by Sony. So this is not one of those they're releasing in a standard edition case later on. It is simply only going to be released in this set in a limited edition release. So I get a lot of questions saying, hey, will later on they release them in standard? According to Sony, this is the only release they're releasing of this film. It's got both cuts of the films with restorations, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision. I'm excited to check out this director's cut longer version of the film to see what the differences are, but you get both versions on 4K. So they're not just putting the director's or theatrical cut on 4K, we're getting both versions with both restorations on this 4K Ultra HD set. Hugely excited for this one. This is one of those films, let me know below, have you ever seen this? Did you ever see this film originally? Let me know down below. Continuing November 14th, we're getting Terms of Endearment. This is the film from 1983. It's coming out in the Paramount Presents line, number 42. Now this is getting a brand new 4K restoration. I can tell you Paramount Presents line has drastically changed how they do their restorations. They have been releasing much better 4K restorations. This one I'll be excited to check out, and it is a limited edition release in this Paramount Presents line. Continuing same day and date, we're getting The Equalizer 3. This is the brand new 2023 film with Denzel Washington. It's coming out with Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, and HDR10. I did like the Equalizer series, so I'll be curious how they finish it out with number 3 here, because my understanding is number 3 is going to be the final one. I don't see them doing any more, and they've kind of talked about it, and they kind of feel like number 3 wrapped up the trilogy for the Equalizer. So this is one of those I'll be excited to check out. Continuing November 14th, we're getting Sympathy for the Devil. Now this is coming out in a limited edition SteelBook release only on 4K. They're not doing any other editions of this. It is limited edition SteelBook only. Now on this release, this is one of those films I did not get to see yet, but it does have Nicolas Cage over-the-top performance in it. If you've seen the trailer, I saw the trailer, it's a very over-the-top Nicolas Cage performance that I'm excited to check out because I do love Nicolas Cage. He is one of those kind of acquired taste for some people actors, but I think all of his performances, he really just puts his heart and soul into everything he does and goes all into the characters. So I'll be curious how this one turns out, but the limited edition SteelBook does not cost much. I mean, to be honest with you, everywhere I saw it was 20 bucks or under. I mean, it's not expensive at all. Now, rounding out November 14th, I have a massive announcement in Twilight the Movie Saga. This is the 15th anniversary 4K Ultra HD release of the entire 5-movie Twilight movie saga in a big box collection. There's going to be 2 different editions of this. So there's this SteelBook set, and there's also a standard case set that's coming out. So you can choose between which one you want. Now, I can tell you as of filming this video, I just got the announcement of it, but I did not get the pre-order links for this yet. Once I get those, I'll post them on my Twitter, which is 4K Blu Ray Reviews. If you don't follow me yet on there, make sure to go and follow me on my Twitter, or I guess it's called X now. So follow me on X, Twitter, at 4K Blu Ray Reviews. I post the links on there, and I'll also post them in the community section here on my YouTube channel. So make sure, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to go down there and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. When you hit that bell notification, anytime I post things on my community section, it will notify you. I am constantly posting things about upcoming pre-orders, limited edition sales, limited edition releases that are being reprinted, studio announcements. I do that constantly on my Twitter and X and here on my community section. So you want to make sure you're a part of both of those so you don't miss out on any of that stuff. But this is one of those that I don't have all of the pre-order links yet. Once they are available, I will share them. So this is just a reveal and announcement that it is coming out in a cheaper standard 4K case set. If you don't want the SteelBook set, you can get in a standard set that's coming out. Once I get the actual pre-order link, I will post them here. But you don't have to pay more for the SteelBook if you don't want it. You want the standard cases, they are coming. Now, moving ahead to November 21st, we're getting one of the biggest announcements for me personally of the year is The Fugitive, Harrison Ford's 1993 remake of the TV series, The Fugitive. This is one of those films with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford that is absolutely stunning, amazing. I can't tell you how much I love the film. Watched it probably 30 times in my lifetime already. This is getting a brand new 4K restoration and 4K scan of the original camera negatives by Warner Brothers. And this is for its 30th anniversary. Now, I did recently announce this about 9 months ago in my popular video series, Most Wanted and Upcoming 90s Movies on 4K Ultra HD. Now, 9 months ago, I was shared with some of my studio contacts at Warner Brothers and insider information that they were working on this restoration. So I shared it 9 months ago in that video series. If you have not watched all those in those video series, there's tons of hidden announcements I give from some of my studio insider information. This is one of those I knew was being released. I just was excited once it was actually officially coming out now and we had an official date, not just that Warner Brothers was working on it, as I announced in that video. This is great that we're actually getting it this year. I wasn't sure if it was going to come out at the end of this year or beginning of next year because of how much work they were doing on it. This is one of those I really hope looks amazing because this film is just one of those films from the 90s. I watch it over and over again. I never get tired of it, and I enjoy the film just as much as the first time every single time I watch it. Now, I can tell you Warner Brothers is doing a brand new HDR10 color grading and master along with a brand new English Dolby Atmos mix for this release. So they're really throwing in some nice little treats for this. This is one of those that I'm thrilled for. I enjoyed the cover artwork, how it had different things like the original poster down in the cover artwork, along with different pictures in the film. So I like that they're trying something new with the cover artwork instead of just using the original poster. I know there are some people that complain when they don't use the original poster, but to me, I like that they're trying something new, so that way it doesn't look like the same Blu-ray I've had sitting on my shelf for years. This one I'm thrilled for. Let me know how excited you were when you heard about this announcement. On the same day and date, we're getting another big release in Stephen King's Silver Bullet from 1985. This is getting a brand new 4K release with a brand new 4K scan. This is one of those 80s films that is really enjoyable. It has so many elements that are enjoyable throughout it. I'm thrilled this is coming out on 4K. Hope it turns out well. Now, if you love 80s movies, check out my must-own 80s movies on 4K Ultra HD video series. These are my top favorite 80s movies for sound, visual, and audio quality, image quality. They are really must-own 4Ks that you have to have in your collection of 80s movies. You should check out that video series to get a bunch of ideas of some of these 80s movies that have already been released that are must-own titles you're going to want to have in your collection. I talk about them all in that video series. Talking about Sony again, we're getting the Resident Evil Complete 6-Movie Collection Limited Edition 4K Ultra HD SteelBook Collection. Now, this is another one of those. They're doing brand new 4K Dolby Vision transfers for this release. They are not the same 4K transfers that were HDR10 for the previous 4K release. Now, as I know, a lot of the times double dipping, a lot of people don't like to do, especially because this new SteelBook release is more expensive. But as I've talked about, for me, certain films I really enjoy. I really love the Resident Evil film series, and I enjoy the Underworld film series. I will tell you a little hidden tidbit here. The Underworld film series is getting a new limited edition SteelBook set. I don't know if it'll come out by the end of this year, but it is something Sony's working on. And they're doing a similar thing that they did for this Resident Evil 6-film limited edition SteelBook set. They're supposed to have better, newer transfers on that Underworld set, which hopefully fixes some of the things I talked about in my original Underworld 4K review. I enjoyed them, but there was some limitations and some things I did think still needed fixed and worked on. Hopefully, when Sony actually releases these new transfers they're doing for the Underworld movies, that they get fixed. A little of those things that I just had nitpicky on them. I can tell you though, this Resident Evil collection, I already pre-ordered mine because I'm excited for it, because as I said, I do like these newer transfers Sony's doing, and I think the SteelBook release looks about 100 times better than the cardboard box release I have of Resident Evil. I really don't like how that cardboard box of those films is held together. It just has not held up well on my shelf. So I'm looking forward to having them in a SteelBook set that I can really collect and actually keep for many years to come in the ultimate release, which these will hopefully be the ultimate transfers and the best way to ever experience these films. So this is one of those, though, that I will warn you, it is very, very limited. Sony let me know. This is another one of those very limited releases. They're only printing so many. Once they sell out, they don't intentionally have plans to reprint this SteelBook set again later on. It's very similar to like what they did with the Ghostbusters release, which had the Dolby Vision transfers on them. That big box set they didn't reprint it again later on. They're saying this is a similar thing. They're going to print it once. They're not going to print it again later on. So if you're interested in this Resident Evil collection at all, don't wait to pre-order or buy yours. I put that direct link to pre-order and the sale link right below in the comments section. But it's just what I'm hearing, that basically it is one of those more limited releases. Once they're gone, they're gone. Now, continuing November 21st, we are getting Stalag 17. This is one of those 4K scans that they're doing of the original camera negative. Kino Lorber is releasing this classic film from 1953. It's going to have a brand new Dolby Vision and HDR10 master on it. I am excited about this one. It is one of those Billy Wilder films that I do enjoy. I'll be excited to see how this one turns out. I will get that in early for review. Kino Lorber did reach out to me and let me know they are planning on sending that to me early for review. Now, on November 21st, there are some other huge TV series releases I did want to mention and talk about. These are some awesome releases. So we are getting Farscape, the complete Blu-ray collection. Now, this is including the Peacekeeper Wars. Now, in this set, my understanding is the transfer is what the Henson Studio still has available. I don't know if it's been tweaked any. I've tried to get information, but it's very, very limited. It is the 25th anniversary collection they're releasing, and my understanding is there was some slight things done, but I don't know, is it enough to make it look amazing over the previous Blu-ray releases? Because the original film elements were lost, basically there's only so much they can do with upscaling. I don't know if they did a better upscale on these. It's pretty limited. Now, I do have it on order to come in. It might be something I do a shorter review here on this channel, just comparing it to my previous Blu-ray release I have that Sony released. I do have that here, and I would compare it to that just briefly if I get it in and have the time. It is something I might compare to let you know what the quality is versus the previous Blu-ray transfer. If it's something that there is an upgrade, I love that sci-fi series. It's one of my favorite sci-fi TV series. Another big Kino Lorber release we're getting, and this is Columbo seasons 1 through 7. Now, this is getting a brand new 4K restoration by Universal Studios, and this is coming out on 1080p Blu-ray. This is one of those I previously reviewed, as most of you have seen, up on my shelf for years. I don't know if you can see it up above or not, but I reviewed it many years ago when it first came out in Japan. I've had that Japan Blu-ray set for years. I've enjoyed it. I like the TV series. A lot of people didn't know that Steven Spielberg actually directed an episode in it. But anyhow, there's a lot of great directors and actors and guest appearances in it. It's a great mystery TV series. I've loved it. This is getting a brand new 4K restoration. It's not the same release as the previous Japanese release that I own. I'll be curious to see what the differences are between them. How much better it looks, how it turns out, how the image and sound sounds. This is one I'm hugely excited for because I love Columbo, the TV series. Now, another epic sci-fi TV series that I love is Doctor Who. This is getting a very limited edition New Who Years collection, and that's a mouthful, but it's all the new Who years, so all the newer Doctor Who seasons, so Christopher Eccleston and so on, all the way up through the modern era. All of it's going to be included in one massive box set with brand new AI upscale transfers of seasons 1 through 4. Now, I'm going to tell you, this new AI upscale transfer is supposed to look pretty darn nice. It has never been released before on Blu-ray, ever before. And they're using the modern AI upscale technology that they've talked about, and they've explained what they've done. There's actually a little snippet out there showing you the quality of it. Compared to the previous Blu-ray releases that had a lot of like interlacing, and they had odd like pacing where it would kind of be jaggy and it would stop, and there'd be all sorts of problems on the previous Blu-ray releases. When I was watching the video, man, did it have a very nice 1080p presentation on it. I'm excited for this one. Now, I had to pre-order this because it's not being sent for review. I pre-ordered it hoping to get it in to test it and check it out. But I will warn you, it is extremely limited. There's only 5,000 of these being produced worldwide. And I have seen these go in and out of availability constantly over the last several weeks since I announced it on my X-Twitter account. They've been going in and out of availability. I'll put the direct pre-order link down there below. It has all of the contents in this set, basically for all of the new Who years. You get some collectible action figures, a limited edition certificate of authenticity, postcards, and some other collectible goodies in it, along with the brand new AI upscaled transfers that, let me tell you, what I've seen video quality wise, if they look even half as good as what they're showing, they're going to be really stellar transfers for all of those early seasons that really looked horrible with the really bad interlacing that they had on previous Blu-ray. They're doing all the specials, all of it, and they're upscaling it with the brand new AI upscale. I'm excited for this one. Do not wait to order your copy though. These are, and I'm telling you, extremely limited. It's a numbered certificate of authenticity. Once they sell out, they're not going to print more because the numbered certificate only states there's 5,000 total worldwide. So this is one I'm hugely excited for. Let me know if you like Doctor Who. As most of you know that have followed me here on my channel, my two favorite things to collect of all time are Blu-ray TV series, complete series set, and 4K Ultra HD releases. I do love Blu-ray like movies as well, but 4Ks really tickle me pink, and I'll be honest with you, so do complete TV series sets, remastered TV series sets. I love them. To sit down and watch them all the way from beginning to end, it's great. Now, any of these you're wanting to pre-order or buy, I put those direct links directly down below. Make sure to use those down below. They do make a big difference for me continuing to do this. That little bit of support I get from those down there, it doesn't cost you even a penny extra to click on those links, but it does help this YouTube channel just a little bit. So make sure to click down there below. Also, start the conversation in the comment section below. Let me know what of these you're thrilled or excited for, especially like some of these TV series I announced here at the end of the video here. What of these are you excited for? Do you love collecting complete TV series Blu-ray sets like I do? Let me know what of these 4Ks, what of these are you thrilled that I announced and are excited to buy and pre-order through those links below. Start that conversation down there below. It's always fun hearing from all of you about what you're excited for down there. I like to hear, hey, this one got me really excited, because like I said, I'm a collector just like all of you, so I like to hear your excitement. Share that excitement down below in the comment section below. If you want to help to support this channel and the creation of all of these videos here on my YouTube channel, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. As I've explained, it only costs you $1 or $2 every month. After what YouTube takes, it's like 35%. I get about $1. That goes back into me being able to spend all this time creating all these videos, the special effects, the music, the computer software, compiling it all together and spending all this time to create these videos for all of you. Make sure to support this channel and these videos through my Collectors VIP Club and use those direct Amazon links I posted right down below. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. As always, I want to say thank you to all my current VIP Club members. Every single one of you really is important, and I really do appreciate every single one of your support. As always, I truly hope all of you have a blessed day, and I've always got something new, early, exclusive, and exciting coming out very soon.